make out that you just like to beg for these deals again. Take no, what I'm saying is you take a break and show up.
How you guys doing? Okay. So today we continue my IG live training, and we're looking at today how to make money from auction and deal sourcing in the UK real estate market. So welcome everyone, wherever you're joining us from. I will appreciate that you do me a favor by telling me your name and the city you're joining me from, okay? I really will appreciate that. Your name and the city you're joining me from. It's 4:09 here in the UK. As you know, there are more, there's more darkness than daylight at the moment. So it's 4 p.m. but it looks like it's 10 p.m. So welcome once again, guys. I can see Nigeria. What city in Nigeria? When people tell me they're Nigeria, what city? K-Star from Lagos. Welcome, K-Star. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So our topic today is how to make money through auction and deal sourcing in the UK real estate market. Pastor Boston from Lagos. How are you? Dolly B, what's your full name? Welcome, thank you. Say hi, Mr. Kintyre. Okay, guys, welcome, but please, I'd like you to invite people to join us in today's training. Maybell from Lagos. How are you, Maybell? Welcome, Maybell. Good to see you. It's my afternoon work, even though I've played golf in the morning, but yeah, I just felt like Abby from UK Craydon. Okay, Abby, welcome. And welcome everybody. Welcome. Guys, let's invite other people to join us and let's learn again today, just like we did yesterday, okay? So today I'm picking like two types of real estate business here in the UK that you can do. One requires money, the other one requires money and training. The other just required training. You don't really need cash to start. So we start with the auction. So doing real estate here in the UK can be very difficult. In fact, to close a house here in the UK, very complicated. Doing real estate here in the UK, extremely complicated. So what then has become the fastest and easiest way to do real estate, to buy property, to sell property in the UK, has become the auction option. So meaning you can close a property between 2 to 4 weeks, maximum 30 days. You can get a property through auction here in the UK. Now, typically, if you are going to do the normal route, like I said, it can take between 3 to 6 months just to close a property deal. But if you're going the auction route, you can close the same property deal in 30 days. So auction has become a darling, has become a major way people do real estate here, a major way people buy property, and it's also the cheapest way. Okay, so properties that are sold at auction are sold usually below the market price. And I'll give you a background to how the auction market has worked in this part of the world. In fact, how many of you know that in Africa we practically don't have a real estate auction market? If you agree with me, type I agree. If you don't agree, I want to hear from you whether you know something I don't know, and I would love to learn about it. Okay, from the little I know, the auction market practically does not exist in African real estate market. Correct? Am I right or wrong? Please help me out. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because in Africa, we we don't have issues of foreclosure. We don't have a very strong mortgage system. Okay, but here in the UK and the US, because typically, is the finance institutions that lend you money to own property, and you remember some of them lend you as high as 70%, 80%, sometimes in rare cases 90%. And so if you default on the property, okay, they have the right to foreclose on your property. They have the right to take that property, put it in the market, and try to sell it. Now, when they then want to sell it, now here's the catch. Remember, the original owner probably has started paying on the property. I'm just giving an example. Let's say he's paid up to 20% and he borrowed just 80%. What that means is that now only 60% is what the bank need of the value of the property. So to make it very easy, and I need some of you to help me work the maths, I buy a property for £100,000, right? And I took a mortgage where I dropped £20,000 and then the mortgage dropped £80,000, isn't it? Now, in a couple of years, I started paying my mortgage. I have paid the bank another £20,000, the lender. So what is left is £60,000 that I'm owing the bank. But I decide to default. Typically, when you default within 3 months, consistently 3 months over and over again, they can foreclose on that property. So what this means is that the bank or the lender can then put out the property out in the market. Now, because their targets, what they're trying to get back is their 60%. Okay? So sometimes they are willing to sell the property, right, at the rate of 60%. That's 40% below the market price. So the market price is still 100,000, but they're willing to sell that house for 60,000 because the bank just wants to get there at 60,000 and move on. And it's okay by law for them to tell you that, look, we sold it at auction, there was nothing left for you, we took our 60,000 and we've moved on. So it's allowed in this part of the world. And this is part of the reasons why I laugh when a lot of investors tell me, oh, Dr. Stephen, I bought a property, I paid for the mortgage, I own the house. You don't own the house. The lender owns the house. Let me say this again. When you apply for a mortgage on a property, you do not own the house. You do not own the property. The lender owns the property because the law permits them big time. Okay? The law gives them power to foreclose, power to take over if you default. And it's based on the agreement you sign. Maybe default is if I default 3 times, if I default 4 times, depends. But they take over the entire property. Are you learning, guys? If you're learning, type, I'm learning. Come on, everybody. I want to be sure you guys are learning. Feel free to invite more people to learn. There's so much to learn today. And tonight I'm breaking it easy. And I hope is simple enough. Okay, so if you are learning, type I'm learning. If it's simple enough, type is simple enough. If it's not simple enough, type it is not simple enough. I want to be sure that I'm going at your pace and it's done in such a way you can understand, and nothing is complex or complicated in what I'm teaching. Okay, so okay, good. I can see everybody's learning, and it's simple enough. Thank you for that. Remember to share the video and get more people to join us. So now the lender, because the lender can foreclose on your property, it means that they now use the tool of auction to be able to sell the property and get back what they invested in the property, to get back the loan that they give the person who is buying the property. Okay, so hence why there's a robust auction business in the UK, a very robust one, a very big one. So you are able to go buy property at auction. Typically, like I said, is the way to get the cheapest property. Another time, what happens is, because you're buying at auction, it may be an old house that require renovation, so they are selling at 30% below the market price. In rare occasion, you can even find a property that is 40 to 50% below the market price. Now, I tell people, when you're doing auction business, when you're trying to buy at auction, always buy minimum 30% below the market price. Okay, and I'll tell you why. No matter how good the house looks, typically there will still be some cost you will need to spend on renovation. Okay, there are also closing costs to the property you're buying. So when you look at the closing costs, when you look at the few renovations you still need to make for you to get a good deal on a real estate investment, it is always wise and better for you to buy it at least 30% below the market price. Are you guys learning? Again, if you're learning, type I'm learning. Okay, come on, type I'm learning. Now, one of the beautiful things also in terms of benefit of auction is, once you have your lenders, and please don't go to auction without having your lenders. Typically, there is an amount you deposit when you're trying to steal an auction or buy from an auction. So depends. Sometimes is 1 to 5% of the cost of the property. So I give you an example. Let's say the property again is going for £100,000. So with 1,000 to 5,000 pounds, depends on the auction you're doing, they will allow you to tie down the property. So in other words, technically you've won the auction if you bid it at the right price that they're willing to sell. You're the highest bidder. You have that property for another 2 weeks to 30 days. That property is yours, and then they expect you to complete the entire payment within 30 days. Okay, now my advice is, if you want to steal an auction, make sure your lender is ready before you go to an auction. In other words, who is going to fund, who is going to give you mortgage, right, on the property you're trying to buy. Please let me also say this: do not do real estate without, let me give my disclaimer, without proper training. Okay, what we teach here on social media are, cases, experiences we've had. It doesn't guarantee that the way it has worked for us, the way it will work for you. So I always advise, before you do any investment you see me teach you, go and get further training. What this does is just to open you up, give you an idea, give you a general idea. So if you just go pick it up the way I've said it, and you go ahead and start, doing business, and you lose money, don't mention my name. Because what we have done here is to give you a general guide, a general advice oh, if you do it this way, it will work this way. So always go further to get training, to get knowledge, a more deeper knowledge about it. Very important. I'm doing a training here in the UK this Saturday, 16th of December 2023. Okay, and it's just in 2 days time. You can register. You can join us physically or join us virtually from anywhere you are in the world, and you will learn so much. I am giving today 40% discount on the training. Yesterday I gave those who paid 50% discount. Today what I have is a 40% discount. You can send me a DM right now that you want to attend, and you'll be able to learn better. The training is £500, but you can pay two. So 40% discount means, I think, how much? I want to be sure I'm correct. That should be like £280. Is that it? Okay. I guess it's £280. I'm just assuming, but you can do the maths. So that's the offer I'm giving today. 40% discount, and you can join me this Saturday. I will be bringing somebody who can lend you money for your real estate business. Okay, how to raise money. And like I said, always make sure you sorted out who is your lender before you go to auction. So as much as, yes, buying via auction, number one benefit is that you close the property faster. Okay, so when you buy via auction, in 30 days you can close. Number two, when you buy via auction, you get a huge discount. Okay, a very, very huge discount. So as much as this opportunity is to know that you can also mess yourself up if you don't have all the key things involved. One of it is make sure you have like a pre-approval when it comes to funding. Thank you, Tolu Adebayo. So if you're paying today, instead of paying £500, you'll be able to pay £300 and you attend my Saturday training. Send me a DM and you can join. Are you guys learning, guys? If you're learning, type I'm learning. So you can buy via auction, and it's really one of the best way to do real estate here in the UK. If you go the normal route of just generally trying to buy property in the UK, it will take too long, and you may not even get a good deal in terms of getting it at a cheaper price. But when you buy via auction, you buy at a far more cheaper price. Like I said, you can buy 30% below the market price, 40% below the market price. It depends on what happens. But also be conscious that you might need to spend some money on renovation, and be conscious of your closing costs. Okay, so don't be too excited about, oh, I got it at this price. There are still other fees you need to pay when you're buying property at auction. So calculate all of that, and do your analysis very well, so you don't end up thinking you've won when actually you have lost. Okay, does this make sense? Again, if it makes sense, type it makes sense. I'm learning, I've learned. Come on, guys, I want to get your feedback. If it makes sense, type it makes sense. I'm learning, I got value. Now, number 2 way to make money in the real estate sector here in the UK that I want to talk about. Okay, number 2 way is deal sourcing. Everybody type deal sourcing. Somebody said the network is bad. I hope it's better now. Okay, is the network okay now? Can you hear me, guys? Okay, so I want to go to number 2 way to make money in the UK real estate market. Tomorrow I'm still going to share more with you guys here. Don't forget, come for better training. These are just intro, and please, I'm begging you, don't take this intro and assume you know it and you go and burn your hands. I've seen so many people do that. This is intro. If you're not serious, and why I do this oftentimes is when I have a training I want to give you like an idea of what I'll be teaching you. So Saturday training starts from 1 p.m. It ends by 6 p.m. We have lunch together, training materials and all of that. So I always love to give you a tip so that you know that these things are not just that they are charging me money. There is a lot of value we're going to be giving you. We also have costs we bear. The venue, for example, I said, we're giving coffee break, we're giving lunch, so we're having to pay a lot. I think for this one, venue alone charges for need through auction and deal sourcing in the UK real estate market. Are you ready for deal auction? If you're ready, type I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Come on. Number 2, deal sourcing. Okay, now deal sourcing is also one of the ways to make good money in the UK real estate market. Okay, now deal sourcing, you don't even require capital to do it. What you need is just knowledge of how the business work, and then doing a couple of research. That is what you need to do deal sourcing here in the UK. It's one of the cheapest at your real estate business here in the UK, and it doesn't come with too much cost. You just need training, of course, be polite, have good relational skills, and you can start your deal sourcing business easily. In fact, once you have training, it's something you can start immediate. So what is deal sourcing? Deal sourcing is basically being an agent to help real estate investors source for good deals. Okay, good real estate deals. Deal sourcing is becoming a real estate agent that helps real estate investors to source for good real estate deals. An average deal sourcer in the UK earns between 3 to 15% in commission of whatever it is that it costs to get that property. So again, let's say the property goes for £100,000. Okay, if the property is £100,000, as a deal sourcer, your money is between £3,000 to £15,000. Again, it depends on the value you bring to the table and how you're able to negotiate with the investor that determine how much you can charge as the deal sourcer. And I think sometimes people are willing to pay you more because if what they are looking for is very complex, it's very unique and different, and they realize that what you bring to the table is unique, they might be willing to pay you a lot more. Okay? Now, typically, what are the type of deals that a deal sourcer brings to the investor? One is a good auction deal. Okay, so you can go to all these auction websites and begin to look for some of the real estate, property that are listed that it's coming up in the next auction. And you look at them, you do a lot of analysis, you do a lot of appraisals, and you analyze that, okay, this is a good deal that fits what your investor is trying to get, what your investor is looking for. Somebody said I should define deal sourcing again. Again, deal sourcing, okay, is the process of being an agent to a real estate investor and helping them to look for good deals that they are willing to invest in. Okay, so a deal sourcer is a real estate agent helping the investor to look for a good deal. And like I said, what are types of deals that people are looking for? One of them is auction. Sometimes people are looking for. So an investor can tell you, Jide or Mr. Peter, if you can get me a property that is 40% below the market price within so-so location, with so-so criteria, then I am willing to give you 5%, or I'm willing to give you 15%, or I'm willing to give you 7%. Now, in that case, you are the deal sourcer. Your investor just told you their budget, told you what they're looking for, and you then go ahead to look for the deal that suits what the investor has requested for. Again, I hope this makes sense. If it makes sense, type it makes sense, it makes sense, it makes sense. Okay? Come on, talk to me. Type it makes sense, it makes sense. Guys, talk to me. Type it makes sense, it makes sense. Now, as a deal sourcer, it's very important to know that different clients, different requirements, right? So clients are never the same. Some clients are looking for cheap deals, and that's really what they're looking for. Budget is the most important thing to them. While some other clients is location. Money is not the issue, they just want in certain location. While for certain clients is the type of the house. So sometimes they are looking for certain type of house that is quite rare, unique, different, and that's all they're looking for. So you have to really, if you're going to be a good deal sourcer, you must be able to listen to your customer, understand what exactly they are looking for, be able to ask questions, take their brief and understand their brief. Ask good questions. Okay? Is budget the most important thing for you? What is your deal breaker here? Okay? What are you willing to compromise on? Okay? And so you want to ask all these questions. Like I said, clients are different. Some clients, it's the budgets, right? They are not willing to go. The cheaper, the more exciting for them. Some clients is quality. They want a particular type of quality, and even if it's a bit more expensive, they will go for it. Sometimes the client is a location. They just want to live within certain location, maybe because of family, school, certain reasons. So understand the requirements of the clients. Number two, a good deal sourcer must have all the tools available. So for example, if I'm going to be a good deal sourcer, I typically know that I'm dealing with UK residents, right? And if they're a first-time home buyer, there is the first-time home buyer deal where you can just deposit 10%. The government will drop 10%, and then you can get mortgage for 80% because it's your first time you're buying. You must have all these options available. Now, if this is not the first time the person is buying, maybe typically the person would drop 20% and take mortgage for 80%. Now, some investors already have their lenders, but you have to work on building a consortium of different lenders, right? 2, 3, 4 lenders, understanding their, requirements, understanding their questions, understanding, what is it that they need, so that it's then easier for your client to pick what they want. I did a deal once where I bought a property for over $5 million, and there were two, who you can call deal sourcer. They were agents trying to sell the property, right? And I gave my requirements. I need this, I need this, I need this. I need also number of acreage and all that. Now, the first person I saw, in fact, gave me the best location I want. And this plays to what I'm saying about you understanding exactly what's the deal breaker, what does the customer want. You need to be sure. So the first person got me the best location I asked for. Now, the second person didn't get me the type of location I wanted. It was a different city from the city I actually wanted. But guess what? The second deal sourcer or agent got me a lender that gave me pre-approval within 24 hours for his own property. Not only that, the second person also got me a construction team that would build the property, because it was a land deal and I needed to build on it, right? So based on this, I eventually went for the second deal sourcer or agent because he had everything ready. So if you're going to be a great deal sourcer or great agent, the words can be interchangeably used. you must have all these various tools that can support your investor. So don't say, oh, my job is just to look for the house, or my job is just to look for the deal, and that's all. No, you must go beyond looking for the deal. You must, and this is what then makes you indispensable. Because if my job is really to only look for the deal, but I go further, I look for good contractor that can work for you. I look for good companies that can finance the deal for you. Now, by the time you do your analysis and you realize that I'm bringing everything to the table to make your life better, to make the deal work, you have no choice than to do business with me. And other people who might not have, analyze all these or bring all these other things to the table, you have to drop them. So at the end of the day, the first became the last. I went for the second deal sourcer, and guess what? The second deal sourcer, his deal was higher in terms of price points. The first guy got me a deal that was less than $4 million. The second guy got me a deal that was above $5 million. Of course, it was more acreage. However, and it was a different city than I wanted. But I went for that other person. Why? Because what was very important to me was financing and construction. So because this other party brought construction, brought finance, I went for the person. So to be a great deal sourcer, you must do your analysis. You must have all your various partners who can help make your deal successful. There are two persons I have brought that will join my training on Saturday here in the UK. Okay? One will be taking you through how to go through auction. Right? How do you do auction? He's called the king of auction here in the UK. Very, very successful. Has been involved in so many deals. And he's going to be sharing with you how to do this well. And the beautiful thing, you'll be able to build relationship with him even after the training. So that when you start your auction, trying to buy at auction, you have his advice, you have his counsel, and he's able to guide you to be able to do auction better here in the UK. Right? He will also share with you how you can come in as a deal sourcer here in the UK. You can even work with him, and you get commission. You can split whatever is the commission. He's going to help you with that. The second person I'm bringing aside myself to the UK training holding this Saturday is a finance person. I have two of them here in the UK that can help you with finance, but I'll bring one of them on Saturday. Okay? And she has connection with more than 100 lenders here in the UK that can lend you funds for your real estate deals. Okay? So all of you used to complain, Dr. Stephen, I can't do real estate in the UK because I don't have money. Well, in this part of the world, you don't need money to do real estate because it's ultimately OPM. You do real estate in this part of the world with other people's money. Okay? You never use your money. Those who use their money in this part of the world are not wise. So you will be learning all the various funding sources that are available for real estate investment here in the UK. And those of you who want for US or Canada, we can facilitate that as well. Does this make sense, guys? Again, if you make sense, type make sense, make sense, make sense. Come on, talk to me. Has this short training and introduction to a more comprehensive training taking place this Saturday, 16th of December, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Does this make sense? Again, if it makes sense, type it makes sense. Remember, you can register by sending me a DM. I'm giving you 40% discount. So instead of paying £500, you pay £300 if you are paying today. Tomorrow, the price increase. I'm only giving you 30% discount. Is it 30? Yeah? You that should have paid that should have paid what's it called, 300 today, you have to be paying 350 if you're waiting till tomorrow to pay. And at the venue is 500 pounds. So I encourage you to be smart and send me a DM and you can get discount today. Now you can attend the event virtually if you can't come to London for the event physically. Okay, so send a DM to me and I will be able to give you some discount as well for those who are coming who want to attend virtually. It's a lot cheaper. I think it's £100 cheaper for those who are joining virtually compared to those who are coming physically. So send a DM and can't wait to see you at the event. Again, how many of you are happy that you joined me tonight? Okay, how many of you are happy? If you're happy, type I'm happy, because I've shared 2 business model here in the UK real estate market. For those of you just joining, you can rewatch this video clip so you can understand. Some of you need to even watch the video clip 2-3 times to really comprehend better and have a detailed understanding. But again, like I always give disclaimer, always go for a more comprehensive training when it comes to this real estate business. Don't just, these are just intro. You need something more comprehensive before you can now say, yes, now I want to start buying properties. Now I want to start doing real estate. Get a more comprehensive training. Don't be penny wise, pound foolish. I've seen so much of that. I've seen people who say, I want to learn, Dr. Stephen, I want to learn how to make money. And I say, okay, fine. Why not? I can teach you. Here's how much you need to pay. And the same people will tell me, oh, Dr. Stephen, can't you make it free? And I'm like, that is very selfish. Okay? Extremely selfish. Because if you want a man to teach you how to make money, okay? You want to go ahead, learn what he taught you. Make money for yourself. But you think the person shouldn't be paid for teaching you how to make money. Does it even make any sense to you? Okay? And I see people do it over and over again. Oh, teach me how to make money, but I won't pay you. Teach me for free. Some will even say, when I make it, I'll remember you. Oh, I have trained so many people. When they made it, I was the last thing that was on their mind. Okay? The last thing. A gentleman, I was one of those instrumental to helping him to getting his property in the US using the model of single family home. To get all my support. I remember anytime the US, he begs to even come pick me up from the airport to help in many ways. Today, when I go to the US, I send him message, hey, I'm around, how you doing? He doesn't even reply. Okay? So I can tell you how many people God has used me to help in many ways who don't even care you exist. Okay? So human beings are human beings. So I always advise, pay to learn is always extremely important. It's selfish to expect people to leave and come and help you and teach you without you paying them for what they are teaching you about. Okay? I hope you got value today. Thank you for attending. Remember to invite more people for the training and share this video with as many of your friends. It will help so many people. Go to my YouTube channel, Dr. S. Akintayo on YouTube. There's so much training like this there. They are free. Okay? Dr. S. Akintayo on YouTube. A lot of free trainings there. Go there and learn. Okay? How to do real estate business in the Western world. Okay? That's the handle, Dr. S. Akintayo. Subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and and hopefully you get more to learn more. I love you all and thank you for being part of today's